for our first guest, and she has got one of pop's most recognisable voices.
Back in 1999, S Club 7 exploded onto the pop music scene and went on to dominate the charts in the early noughties. Members: Rachel, John, Bradley, Tina, Paul, Hannah and lead singer Jo. She had the world at her feet and it seemed as if nothing could go wrong. But a crippling back injury and the decision to not undergo surgery at the time meant the condition would come back to haunt Jo later in life. After 4 operations on her back, Jo joins us today to update us on how she's doing and to tell us if she'll ever be able to dance again.
Now, just 6 weeks ago, she had back surgery. So very, very recently. She's here today. We've just got her up on the stool.
Yes.
You all right?
Yes, I'm good.
So 6 weeks, that's not long ago.
No.
I mean, obviously, I know with my husband.
I know.
You and he talk all the time.
Do,
you know, it's
we
a
do.
slow process getting back. So where are you at the moment?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm a lot better than what I was. Yeah, it's been a really rough few months, to be honest. It's been very painful.
Yeah.
I've had good days and bad days with it. I think sometimes you just got to soldier through it, and then other times you just think, oh, how long is this pain going to last for?
Take us back to when it first started then, when you first had your first back operation.
The first one, this time round, it's been... September was my first. I've had literally 4 in 3 months.
But it actually happened years ago, didn't it? Because I remember, because I was in a band called S Club Juniors, and we did a tour with S Club 7 called S Club United. And I even remember then, I remember that tour, and because I obviously didn't know what had happened, but I remember thinking, oh, Jo's not dancing on stage anymore. Everyone kind of had to manoeuvre you around.
So how old were you then?
22, I think.
So, and that's when it started? You had
well, back then I had 2 bulging discs, and they wanted to operate back then, but the schedule was so busy, there just wasn't any time to do it, and we ended up attacking it with steroid injections. And that did seem to do the trick, you know, with medication and stuff. But this time round, it was 4.
So over the years, like Frankie was saying, that started when she can remember. Back then, you did steroids. And also, when you're young, sometimes you go, oh, I'll be fine, I'll work through it, it'll be fine. During your life then, you know, obviously you've had one very recently, but how did it present itself and how often did it flare up?
Do you know what? For the 20 years, it was pretty much 20 years to the day. It's so weird, because I didn't have any problems at all. Like, even throughout my pregnancy and stuff, I was absolutely fine. It was just... I started getting, like, these backaches, and I was just, you know, putting it down to sort of, like, exercising too much or, you know, lady things, you know, just all different sorts of stuff. And I went to go and see an osteopath, and she sort of, like, looked, and I was telling her what my symptoms were. She said, Jo, I think you've got a slipped disc. I was like, oh... So I went and got the MRI scan, and it showed I actually had 4.
Oh, no.
And, the
the
sciatica was horrendous. The pain was the worst I've
How
ever
did you
known.
deal with pain?
Oh, probably the same way as Eamon, I suppose. You know, moaned a hell of a lot through it, cried an awful lot.
But it must be hard for your mental health, though, when you're at home. I know, but you're someone that's used to being active and moving around. When you're at home and you're having to rely on other people, it must start getting to you after a while.
It does. I mean, there were some days where you just don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. And do you know what? Since I've been going through all of this, I've had so many messages from so many people that are going through exactly the same thing. It's unbelievable. So, you know, it seems like it feels like it's quite a common thing.
Well, slip disc is really, really common, and back pain's the most common, you know, reason why people take time off work in this country. I had 2 slip discs, and I had 2 disc operations, so I know what you went through, but I also understand your reluctance, because you think when they say they're going to cut the bulging bit of disc out...
That's it.
You think you'll never walk again. And they tell you will, and they even tell you walk on the day of the operation.
They do say that.
And I said to me, I've got to be able to walk to the bathroom on the day of the... And you couldn't you?
I got up, and it was... Honestly, I just thought, oh... Because there is this... I think you do get, like, this fear, because just before I had the surgery done, they did say to me, you know, Jo, there is a very, you know... It could be very likely that you won't dance properly to full capacity again, and or like there could be more like implications with the bowel, and you just start thinking, oh,
But
no,
you also had a
please.
blood clot as well, didn't you?
Yeah, when they done the surgery, they found a blood clot in there as well. So I've been so lucky.
Well, lucky they found it.
Lucky that
Not
they
lucky
found
with the
it.
back, probably.
Yeah, and I'm up, I'm walking.
How about your son Lenny? Because we were saying, and you have been so good with Eamon, and that you talk, the two of you talk. And
Yeah.
it's great because, you know, as sympathetic as your family try to be and understanding, if you don't experience that pain for such a long time, it's hard to totally understand it. So you do need people to talk to. I know you
completely get where you're coming from, yeah.
So how does Lenny, how old is Lenny?
14.
14. So how's he dealt with his mum being like this?
He's been really good, actually, yeah. I mean, considering he's a 14-year-old, very hormonal teenage boy, he's really kind, yeah. He's been really good, really good.
And you're on your own as well, aren't you? It's just you and Lenny.
Yeah. I'm very lucky, though. I've got, like, my best friend lives next door, so she's been absolutely amazing. Her and her mum.
How do you find that? Because Eamon says he finds that difficult, having to rely on people, rely on us to help him do sometimes the most simple tasks.
And it's the really simple tasks that are the most challenging. Like, if you just drop something on the floor, you just automatically go to pick it up and you think, oh, you can't do that. Even, like, now with a cough or a sneeze, it's like, engage the core. Do it properly.
You have to do the physio every day.
You do.
But something awful happened to you recently, you know, during this recovery period. Some really unflattering pictures of you appeared in the press. I mean, that to me is a really low blow.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It's disgusting.
I can't even defend it. That is what I look like. And that's the most...
That's what we all look like when we're
Do you know
out
when
walking
you
the
say,
dog?
oh, no, it was, you know, it was a really bad day? No, that was it. And I was absolutely, like, mortified.
So this is they snapped you in your wheelchair?
Well, no, they've just got me out walking the dogs. But, I just feel so lucky I'm able to go out and take the dogs for a walk. I thought, oh, it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, I've definitely had better days. Listen, the way I look at it, it can't get any worse now. So, you know, every day's a better day. Thank God.
And I want to know. Are S Club 7 getting back together?
Everyone is asking this
Well,
question.
Because everyone wants it to happen, Jo.
Do you know what? I would absolutely love to. I would love to. You know, we are all talking. We all do still speak. The rumours, do you know what, the papers, they always sort of like pick up on this story every once in a little blue moon and the rumourville goes into overdrive. But in reality, getting the 7 of us together at the same time...
There's a lot of people to get together.
You know, some are married, we've all got children of different ages. It's quite tough to get us all together at the same time, but you never know.
Oh,
Do we want S Club 7 back? Come on, Jo. Do it. But listen, we're sorry you've had such a rough time, but, you know, like you said, you've got a lot of support out there and there's always someone ahead of you, like Janet said. I had it, and look, you do get there. It's that light at the end of the tunnel, isn't it? And thank you for helping my husband so much.
No, and thank him as well, honestly.
Thank you. Jo Meara, everybody. Now, if you have, chronic pain, it's a terrible thing, and if you have experienced any pain similar to Jo's, then we have details of organisations that can help you. They'll be on the ITV website.